is Caroline, and I'm the Children's Reading Program Assistant here at the Morin Center. Today, we're going to talk about this flower. Anyone recognize it? This is the Fleur-de-lys, which can be found on the Quebec flag, as well as many other flags to represent French-speaking communities in Canada. But why is the Fleur-de-lys so popular? And why is it on so many flags? Well, let's find out. For centuries, the Fleur-de-lys represented the kings of France, but storytellers can't seem to agree on how that came to be. Some stories claim it was King Clovis, king of the Franks in the 5th century, who started it all. It is said that he was once in a terrible battle against a much stronger enemy, and he and his army were trapped. All was hopeless until they noticed yellow iris flowers by the side of the river. And because those flowers could only grow in shallow water, they knew where to cross and get to safety. Now that river was the Lys River, running across France and Belgium. That would explain why King Clovis then made the Fleur-de-lys his symbol. And in the centuries that followed, the golden Fleur-de-lys, placed on a blue background, like water, became a symbol of the kings of France and even of France itself. You might have heard of Jacques Cartier before. Well, in the year 1534, nearly 500 years ago, he set sails to cross the Atlantic Ocean and reach two places, which we now know as Newfoundland and Gaspésie. He was sent by the King of France to claim the land for the crown, and to make clear that this land belonged to the king, he planted two crosses, one in each place, which bore the coat of arms with the Fleur-de-lys. As we know, the Fleur-de-lys was at the time a symbol of the kings of France, but over time it really evolved into a symbol of the French presence in Canada. And that symbol continued to prosper into the 17th century, where it appeared on the coat of arms of Quebec City and even on the money that was used at the time. It all came to a stop, however, in 1764, when France ceded Canada over to England, who had won the war. At that time, the Fleur-de-lys, being such a French symbol, was mostly abandoned. Sure, it appeared on churches, bells, and decorations that you could still find, but otherwise, it was mostly forgotten. That is, until Francophones in Quebec and other regions in North America started proclaiming their heritage. In 1948, Quebec adopted its new flag, which predominantly featured the Fleur-de-lys. Now you might be thinking, wait, this isn't the flag I know and recognize. And you're right, that's because the design evolved over the years to become the one you know and recognize. Now, Quebec was not the only French-speaking community to adopt a new flag. In the years that followed, many others followed suit. For example, in Ontario, Saskatchewan, Alberta, British Columbia, and the Northwest Territories, to name but a few. But French-speaking communities are not unique in their use of flower emblems to represent the people and culture of a place. In fact, all Canadian provinces and territories have a flower emblem, and many of them feature it on their flag. For example, way up north in the Yukon, the flower emblem is the fireweed. It is a pink flower with a reddish stem. It is also a perennial flower, which means it grows back after the winter. And fun fact, it is also edible. a great source of vitamin C and provitamin A. Of course, not all flowers are designed to survive our Canadian ecosystem. Our winters are not for the faint of heart, or, well, faint of roots. The iris, a flower commonly associated with the Fleur-de-lys, is a great example of how us as Canadians may come from all over the world, and yet we are still strong enough to survive our long winter months. Now, if you had to create a flower that represents you, what would that flower look like?